January 2026, 0400 local time off the icy east coast of Greenland. A shadowy 500-foot Russian frigate Admiral Grigorovich-class 4,000-ton displacement slices through freezing waters at 28 knots, its crew unaware a digital predator is hunting them. Fog rolls in thick off the ice shelf, burying the warship in a soup of gray mist with temperatures hovering dangerously at minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit. The radar operators on the bridge are fighting to stay awake, their screens cluttered with ghost returns from drifting ice and thermal inversions. To the Russian captain, this patrol is a statement of power, a flex of muscle in NATO's Arctic backyard meant to prove that Moscow's reach extends beyond the Black Sea. But miles away, in a secure command bunker in Lviv, a Ukrainian operator stares at a high-definition monitor that tells a very different story. This isn't the Black Sea, and these aren't the warm waters of Crimea, but the rules of engagement have just been exported to the Arctic Circle. A NATO surveillance satellite passing 400 miles overhead had flagged the thermal signature of the frigate's gas turbine engines hours ago. The intelligence feed was instantaneous, routed through secure servers in Northern Europe directly to the command tablets of Unit 13 in Ukraine. President Zelensky had just announced at Davos that if Russian ships thought they could freely roam the Greenland Gap, they were mistaken. He promised that Ukrainian reach was no longer limited by geography, and tonight, that promise was about to manifest as 4 tons of high explosives. A tactical map overlays the icy waters on the main screen in Lviv, the red icon of the Grigorovich pulsing steadily as it moves south. The Russian vessel is bristling with Caliber cruise missiles and a Still 1 air defense system, a floating fortress designed to level cities. But the Ukrainians aren't impressed by the spec sheet. They are looking for the blind spots that exist in every Russian system. 2 distinct green markers appear on the tactical display labeled simply Package A and Package B. These aren't standard naval assets launched from a port. They are gifts deployed from a containerized launcher aboard a civilian support vessel that passed through these waters days ago. Ukraine has turned the logistics of global shipping into a weapon of war, hiding their strike craft in plain sight until the moment of activation. Ivan thinks he is the king of the Arctic, the shift commander in Lviv mutters, sipping lukewarm coffee as the telemetry data stabilizes. He thinks the ice protects him. The operator adjusts the gain on the satellite link, watching the distance to target close. "Hold my coffee," he replies. We are about to turn his patrol route into a skating rink for the Maguras. 2. Magura 5 unmanned surface vessels, US-5s, slice through the black water, their low-profile hulls virtually invisible against the dark chopping waves. They run dark, running silent, maintaining a tactical separation of 2 nautical miles to complicate the enemy's firing solution. Magura 1 is the decoy carrier rigged with electronic emitters to scream for attention, while Magura 2 is the strike carrier loaded with a shape-charged warhead. Intel from Northern Command confirms bearing 270. The operator calls out, his hands dancing over a specialized control interface. Admiral Grigorovich is patrolling the east sector, running active sonar but relying on radar for surface threats. The Maguras are ghost ships, their carbon fiber hulls absorbing radar waves, appearing as nothing more than floating debris or small growlers, chunks of ice that have broken off the main shelf. Suddenly, a massive iceberg towering 80 feet above the waterline looms out of the fog directly in the path of the lead drone. The AI collision avoidance system screams a warning, but the operator overrides it manually, his heart rate spiking. With a flick of the joystick, Magura 1 banks hard, carving a 15-degree turn in 8 seconds, the hull groaning under the G-forces but clearing the ice by mere feet. Magura 2 follows in the lead boat's wake, the operator fighting the latency of the satellite link as the signal bounces through the heavy atmospheric interference. The freezing fog is dense enough to scatter laser signals and degrade the Starlink connection, causing the video feed to stutter and pixelate. For 20 agonizing seconds, the screens in Lviv go gray, the telemetry flatlining as the drones pass through a communication dead zone. Switching to UHF relay, the tech lead shouts, rerouting the signal through a Bayraktar TB2, loitering at 25,000 feet well outside Russian air defense range. The high-altitude drone acts as a Wi-Fi extender in the sky, punching through the fog layer. "Link stable," the operator breathes out. "Distance to target 18 nautical miles. We are inside the outer perimeter." On the Grigorovich, the lethargy of the mid-watch is shattered by a high-pitched alarm from the CIC. The frigate M2EM radar has picked up 2 intermittent surface contacts moving way too fast for drifting ice. 2 surface contacts, low RCS, speed 40 knots. The radar officer screams, his voice cracking. Likely Ukrainian USVs, alert status, Yellow Panzer M, hot, AK-630 ready. The Russian captain spills his tea as he lunges for the intercom, barking orders to the weapon stations. The Panzer M, a fearsome combination of missiles and rotary cannons, spins up its search radar, its logic processors trying to filter the sea clutter. At 14 nautical miles, the system manages a hard lock on the lead contact, the Magura 1, which is intentionally amplifying its radar signature to draw fire. Target's confirmed Magura-class profile. The Russian tactical officer reports sweat beading on his forehead despite the chill of the bridge. Engage layered defense. KH-35 missile on lead contact. A hatch slams open on the frigate's deck, and a KH-35 Uran anti-ship missile roars into the Arctic night, riding a pillar of fire. The subsonic missile levels out at Mach 0.8, skimming the wave tops as it hunts the electronic noise coming from Magura 1. In Lviv, the warning klaxons blare. Missile inbound on lead boat, 42 seconds to impact, the operator shouts. Engage zigzag AI and deploy flares. Magura 1 begins a violent randomized dance, cutting sharp angles across the water to break the missile's predictive guidance lock. Miniature flare launchers on the drone's deck pop off spitting burning magnesium into the freezing air to confuse the missile's seeker head. The KH-35, designed to hit aircraft carriers and destroyers, is confused by the erratic movements of the tiny boat and the thermal bloom of the flares. The missile screams past the drone, slamming into the water 180 yards astern, sending a geyser of freezing water and ice 50 feet into the air. The shockwave hammers Magura 1, the video feed shaking violently as the drone is tossed like a toy in a bathtub. Damage report, the operator yells. She's still floating, sensors degraded, but propulsion is green. The Russians aren't giving up. The captain is screaming for a second solution before the spray has even settled. Second KH-35 on trailing contact. He orders, desperation creeping into his voice. The second missile leaps from the launcher, this time tracking the thermal signature of Magura 2's engine exhaust. Magura 2 executes a hard braking maneuver, dropping from 40 knots to near 0 in seconds, causing the bow to plow underwater. The missile overshoots its seeker, unable to adjust to the sudden loss of velocity, and detonates harmlessly against an iceberg 220 yards away. The Russian captain realizes his expensive missiles are chasing ghosts and changes tactics. Full speed, 28 knots maneuver to present broadside, he commands. Panzer M track both targets, AK-630 suppress. The frigate heels over hard, its massive hull carving a turn to unmask its gun batteries. The Panzer M turret swivels its 30mm Gatling gun, spinning up with a mechanical whine that vibrates through the ship's hull. 2 streams of red tracers tear through the fog, turning the night into a strobe-lit nightmare. The rounds churn the water around Magura 1, slicing through the waves and sending shrapnel pinging off the drone's composite armor. One 30mm shell grazes the antenna array, snapping a communication whip, but the drone keeps coming, closing the distance at a suicidal 45 knots. The AK-630 close-in weapon system joins the chorus, firing at its maximum rate of 5,000 rounds per minute, the sound like a giant tearing canvas. The Russian gunners are good walking the fire onto the lead drone, and a flare decoy from Magura 1 is blown out of the sky before it can fully bloom. "Splash decoy!" a sailor shouts from the deck, cheering prematurely. Magura 1 and 2 drop even lower, hugging the wave tops at under 5 feet, entering the engagement dead zone where radar clutter is worst. Their frequency-hopping transmitters and radar-absorbent coating cause the Panzer M's fire control radar to lose lock every few seconds. On the Russian bridge, the captain realizes technology is failing him. "Man pads teams to deck," he screams. "Igla-S, ready for close-in defense. Get eyes on the water." Now comes the Ukrainian twist, the tactical innovation that renders the Russian defense grid obsolete. "Deploy swarm." The operator in Lviv commands, tapping a sequence of keys that unlocks the payload racks on Magura 1. The deck hatches of the decoy boat slide open. 4 Arctic Wasp FPV drones, small quadcopters weighing only 5 pounds each, launch into the freezing air. They buzz like angry insects, their electric motors pushing them to 120 miles per hour, as they split into two pairs flanking the ship. The AI swarm logic takes over, coordinating their flight paths to approach the frigate from 4 different vectors simultaneously. The Panzer M radar, already struggling with sea clutter, suddenly faces a saturation attack. 4 inbound small targets plus 2 USVs. The radar operator screams his screen, a mess of red symbols. The fire control computer tries to track everything at once and freezes for a critical second, overwhelmed by the data flood. The Gatling guns swivel wildly, spraying fire in a desperate arc. 2 of the Wasps are hit, disintegrating into plastic shards and lithium sparks that hiss as they hit the water. But the remaining 2 Wasps buzz the bridge superstructure, creating a chaotic diversion that pulls every eye and every gun upward. Russian sailors rush the rails with shoulder-fired Igla-S missiles, trying to lock onto the tiny drones buzzing their ship. They manage to down 1 more Wasp, but the chaos has done its job. The Panzer M is overheated, its ammunition drums depleted after 15 seconds of continuous fire, and its sensors are blind to the water level. Overload achieved, the Lviv operator whispers, his eyes narrowing. Magura 2 advanced stern, launch fiber optic FPV. While the Russians are shooting at the sky, Magura 2 has swung wide, circling around to the frigate's vulnerable stern, hidden by the ship's own superstructure. Magura 2 is now inside 1.2 nautical miles, creeping into the blind spot created by the ship's flared hull. A hatch opens on the strike drone, and a specialized FPV drone shoots out, trailing a thin, shimmering strand of fiber optic cable. This is the ace in the hole, unjammable, unhackable, immune to the massive electronic warfare jamming the Russians are now blasting. The Russian captain orders a hard turn to port to evade the rear threat, throwing the ship into a 20-degree list. But the fiber optic drone doesn't care about jamming or G-forces. It flies with perfect clarity, immune to the electronic noise. The operator in Lviv sees the Russian sailors on the aft deck running in panic, their faces illuminated by the red emergency lights. Rear contact on trailing USV! The aft lookout screams into his radio. Drone astern suppress! The AK-630, mount at the rear, tries to engage, but its barrels are glowing cherry red from the earlier barrage, and the gun jams after a short, pathetic burst. The fiber optic drone zooms in the camera feed crystal clear as it targets the frigate's rudder and propeller assembly. Machine gun fire from the deck clips one of the drone's rotors, sending it into a wobble, but the momentum carries it forward. For the fleet, they sank, the operator mutters, guiding the drone into the gap between the hull and the rudder. The drone slams into the steering gear, detonating its 2-pound shaped charge directly against the hydraulic rams. The explosion is surgical, shearing the bolts and locking the massive rudder hard to starboard. The Grigorovich shudders as it loses steering control, trapped in an endless tightening turn. Target rear immobilized us! The Russian captain roars, gripping the console to stay upright. Focus all fire on the trailing USV Panzer M redirect. The crew frantically tries to bring the main guns to bear on Magura 2, which is now closing for the kill run. But the remaining Arctic Wasp from the swarm pulls a final maneuver, diving directly into the Panzer sensor array, detonating a small fragmentation charge that cracks the radar dome. Blinded and confused, the automated defense system spins aimlessly. Magura 1, the decoy, takes a heavy hit from a 12.7mm machine gun, its deck rupturing and speed dropping to 25 knots. Ladboat hit? The operator reports, devoid of emotion. But the swarm did its job. The door is open. Magura 2 is now at full throttle, its 300-kilogram payload of hexagen TNT mix armed and ready. Incoming ram threat. The Russian radio channels dissolve into screaming chaos. All guns suppress, brace for impact. Sailors line the rails, firing assault rifles and flares at the black shape hurtling toward them. Bullets splash the water inches from Magura 2's bow, pinging off the reinforced cowling. The Lviv operator overrides the autopilot for the final 10 seconds, his hands steady on the controls. Hold course, 12 seconds to impact. He executes a final sharp zigzag, dodging a stream of tracer fire from a desperate sailor on the fantail. The camera on Magura 2 zooms in one last time, capturing the terrified faces of the Russian crew and the rust streaks on the gray hull. 5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3. The Panzer M manages one last manual burst, the shells tearing across the top of the drone, stripping away antennas but failing to detonate the warhead. For every life in the Black Sea, the operator whispers. Magura 2 slams directly into the stern of the Admiral Grigorovich right at the waterline, directly below the helicopter deck and the ammunition magazines. The impact triggers 300 kilograms of high explosives, roughly equivalent to 660 pounds of TNT. The detonation is not just a splash, it creates a massive underwater bubble pulse, a sphere of superheated gas that expands and collapses with the force of a hydraulic hammer. The pressure wave hits the hull with over 10,000 pounds per square inch, shattering the steel plates and snapping the keel frame like a dry twig. A secondary explosion rips through the aft section as the shock wave sets off the stored aviation fuel and munitions for the ship's helicopter. A column of fire erupts 300 feet into the freezing Arctic night, turning the fog orange and sending debris spinning into the sky. The 4,000-ton frigate is lifted bodily out of the water by the force of the blast before slamming back down with a bone-jarring crash. Water rushes into the engine compartment at a rate of tons per second, the freezing Atlantic Ocean flooding the turbines and drowning the generators. The ship loses all power instantly, plunging the screaming crew into darkness, and silence broken only by the groaning of twisting metal. The Grigorovich begins to list heavily to stern, the angle steepening to 45 degrees within minutes. In Lviv, the telemetry screens go black as the drone vaporizes, but the satellite feed confirms the kill. The thermal signature of the ship is blooming out a massive hotspot, rapidly cooling as the frigid water claims it. Target is listing. Structural failure detected amidships, the analyst reports. She's going down. It takes only 8 minutes for the pride of the Northern Fleet to slip beneath the waves. A warship worth $500 million packing the latest Russian missile technology has been turned into a tangled reef at the bottom of the Arctic Ocean by a couple of plastic boats and a spool of fishing line. Russia has lost its ability to launch Kaliber missiles from the Greenland Gap for the foreseeable future. The strategic message is louder than the explosion itself. Lesson for today. The unit commander says, watching the satellite feed show the final radar return vanish. Don't flex your muscles in NATO's backyard unless you want Ukraine to turn your supply run into a nightmare. Russia will issue a statement claiming an accidental fire or an iceberg collision, but the world knows the truth. The Arctic isn't a sanctuary anymore. Russia said Greenland was theirs. The operator types into the mission log closing the file. Ukraine said, cool story, bro. Now sink. Like and subscribe if you want to see more billion-dollar warships deleted by crowd-funded drones. Slava Ukraini. Bye for now.